been a bit of a hot minute, hasn't it, people? It's me, Kieran. How are you all diddling? I hope you're doing well out there. How have I been? Well, you wouldn't believe it, but outside there's sun. Wales has finally been graced with sunlight for the past 2 days, which means I can be in natural light and not sit on this little stool on the floor with a light shining in my face, which is really uncomfortable for long periods of time. But now you get to see the full extent of me moving into my daughter's nursery. Get used to that wallpaper because I'm skint. Though my bank account might tell me I'm skint, I'm not skint in books, and that's because it was my birthday. Woo, you're 27. Wow, you look a little bit older than that. I doff my glasses to you, kind sir. Thank you for reminding me. Let's go through the books that I was bought and expect reviews of these, because that's how reviews work. First up, we have Voroshilovgrad by Serhiy Zhadan, an author I hadn't heard of until March of 2021. Zhadan is most likely unbeknown to you, but he is one of the leading Ukrainian voices, foremost a poet, but he has got a number of novels. This one caught my eye because it's like dark navy, and what's that going on there? I mean, it's very pretty and lovely, but what I believe that's going to happen in this novel is not pretty or lovely at all. This is an angry man who is upset with the current state of Ukraine and is, a leading writer in post-Soviet literature. He's got a new book that I pre-ordered called The Orphanage, which is meant to be, if you type his name in on YouTube, the views are really low for someone who's so well received, someone who has a voice, has an opinion, and is not afraid to say it. He's got like tiny numbers, and like this is what I'm interested in, is actually reading voices that like aren't heard of. I've never heard of this guy, and everyone is loving him. He's a leading voice. Why don't I know him? So expect this. Contrasting that, here's Jhumpa Lahiri with Interpreter of the Maladies, the winner of the Pulitzer Prize. I love Indian literature. You all know I love Indian literature. I've never read any Lahiri. I don't know why. I don't know why, but we're going to rectify that in 2021. We're going to read some Lahiri. Now contrasting with Lahiri, but staying in line with what I said about Zhadan, here is Jia Qing Wilson Yang's Small Beauty, a book that was resold to me by Hannah at Let's Talk About Books Baby. And when I said that it was my birthday coming up, I was thinking of getting some books. She said, get this one. And I was like, oh yeah, I forgot about that one. But actually, these 3 books were all sent to me by my lovely work colleagues. They bought me books. How fun. It's as if they listened to me. They listened to me, because even though I don't work in a bookish place and there's nothing to do with books, and no one is reading the same books as me, I bang on about books quite some time. But it shows that if you speak at people for a long enough time, they'll finally listen. Actually, they sent me, it was a little bit belated, but they struggled to get a copy of At High Cost by Mykhailo Kotsiubynsky. It's Ukrainian classic literature. I hope that's focused. On the back, 1830s Ukraine, which belongs to the Russian Empire, where serfdom is established, and it follows Ostap and Salomia, who flee their masters. This sounds interesting. I've been on a high with Russian authors, I'm not going to lie. I've gone back and I'm absolutely loving them. I finally read all 3 of Chekhov's big plays, The Seagull, The Cherry Orchard, Three Sisters, and they were absolutely mwah. They were bliss. I'm still reading Solzhenitsyn at the moment. Expect a review on this soon. Maybe it's just me, but when I start reading and get invested, I kind of start going down rabbit holes and I want to read more. I want to understand the history, the context, especially when you're reading countries and you're reading certain eras. You want to know what's happening in and around it, and Russia being like the mother of the Soviet Union. Like, what happened to the countries who became Soviet states, who I'd say now still we view very close to Russia. I still think that there's a view that like Baltic states and countries that border Russia are still really like synonymous with Russia. Oh, my daughter woke up and she wanted my glasses. So where were we? Yeah, I get caught up in things and I want to learn more about post-Soviet, pre-Soviet, and the surrounding countries enable me to do that. And I've never read any Belarusian authors, I've never read any Ukrainian authors, I've never read any Latvian, Estonian, Polish. I don't think I've read any. No, I've read Olga Tatarchuk. But basically this comes onto Stone Upon Stone by, oh darn it, I can't, Wiesław, Mÿsliwski. We'll go with that for the moment. Stone Upon Stone, which was recommended to me by Camel, from what Camel reads now. This channel name, note to self, brush up on your Polish. As Campbell's Polish and reads a lot of Polish literature, I asked him, hey, got any Polish recommendations? And he recommended this one. And look how square it is. How fun. I think this talks about Polish history and legend and myth and articulates it in a modern way. I don't really know much about most of these picks. I'm thinking about books that I don't know a lot about. I don't really know a lot about this. I've studied it when I was in school and a few extracts, but I'm finally going to read all of the Mabinogion. Or if you're really petty and well, oh, the Mabinogi. It's called the Mabinogi. Mabinogion does the trick, okay, people? The foundation of Welsh myth. This is basically what it is. I'm going to be reading this with Tanya over at Bookish Topics, and yeah, I'm really keen because she has seen me struggle and butcher all the Russian names, all the Russian pronunciation. She's also teaching me Russian as I'm trying to learn it on the side, so maybe some of the Welsh, maybe I'll get my own back. It'll be good to not be in the passenger seat of how do I pronounce this or what does this mean. I hope I will be a vigil of light, thinking of light, all the light's gone. Britain has no more sun, but isn't that a thing of beauty by Higlad van Hadai? I bought this for me on my birthday, but I told my wife when she said, oh, how many books have you ordered? I did say that Tanya might have sent this to me. So Tanya, thank you. Thanks for saving my bacon on that one. But one book that was sent by a Russian is Ivan Bunin's Dark Avenue, which was sent by the lovely Lana over at Lana X Leave It, who sent a little note, and it was really cute. It was really cute as well. Look how small this is, if you compare it. So this, I wanted to read Bunin ever since Tanya told me that Bunin was the first ever Russian to win the Nobel laureate, but I don't think it counts. I believe Bunin denied his citizenship of Russia due to everything that was going on. He didn't want anything to do with it, so I think he was the first Russian but didn't view himself as Russian. Anyway, he's Russian, and Tanya told me that apparently his wife used to hide ham around the house. Bunin had such a good sense of smell that he could sniff out the ham, and I was like, this is a person I need to read. And I tried to find a copy of Bunin's work. He's a short story writer. He does have some novels, but I couldn't find any. I think I really struggled to find copies in English of Bunin's work. I really struggled to find some that weren't ridiculously expensive. And it just it kind of frazzled my mind that we have a Nobel laureate of literature who I can't get, and I asked Lana if she could get a translated copy, and this exists, but it's made for people learning Russian. So even though I have some of the stories in English, right at the back I have original text, which would be great to read one day, wouldn't it? And it has the translations from English to Russian. So I suppose the main purpose of this is if you're a native Russian speaker and you're learning English, you could come across a word you don't know, look at the back and realise that knickers is pantalonia. What are Bunin stories about? I'm not entirely sure. If you could read Russian, please pause. And you could explain all of this, but the only thing that I'm really keen about is that it has 16 plus on it. And I asked Tanya, because I mentioned that I finally got a copy after looking for ages, and she said this is 20th century Russian erotica. Yes! Bunin sounds great. And then some lovely bookish people, i.e. my subscribers, sent me some books, which was really cute. And I have the Golovlyov. It's not that. Golovlyov. I got this book, which was sent to me by Victoria, who has read Leys with me and shot at Coiny Reads, saying that she hopes this isn't anything to do with eggs. If you've read George Bataille's Story of the Eye, which is part of my book club, you'll know why. This is another Russian book. Please understand that I am reading other books apart from Russians. I'm currently working my way through Mahabarata, the great Indian poem. It's taken some time, but I am getting there. I saw this reviewed on Sophia Clef's channel. I'll link it down below, where she reviewed this book. And it sounds dark, twisted, and like everything I need on a lovely British summer's day, which is mostly in the dark. Like what? It's not even 7 o'clock. Serhiy is a perfect hypocrite, an indefatigable schemer who preys remorselessly on anyone who comes near him. Yet in the end, even he is destroyed in the emotional and spiritual wasteland that is life at Golovlyov. How do you say this word? I love a dark book, so I was so happy that Sarah Tebb from the Bookcase Club, I'll link their podcast down below, of which I did an episode. I've done 2 episodes. I did one with Booker and one about generally my life in books. I'll link that down below. This is Alexandros Papadiamantis, the Murderess, which the Murderess is going to be like my first Greek author that isn't like the classics. Homer, Sophocles, like none of that. This is like my first one. And what is this about? I don't know. I haven't even looked at these. The Murderess is a bone-chilling tale of crime and punishment with the dark beauty of a backwoods ballad. I don't even know what the last 2 words sound, but you know that they sound good. And finally, because Charlotte from Coiny Reads couldn't let Napoleon like leave me after I read Leys, it's The Death of Napoleon by Simon Leys, a French novel which is utterly satisfying, sentence by sentence and scene by scene, and is compulsively readable. He, which I'm assuming is Napoleon, revisits the battlefield of Waterloo, now a tourist destination. He makes his way to Paris. Mistakes, misunderstandings, and mishaps conduct our puzzled hero deeper and deeper into the mystery of Napoleon. Wait, is this Napoleon? Is Napoleon coming back alive and find out about Napoleon? Huh? Oh, these are going to be great. I'm looking forward to that. Oh, that surprised me. This was really surprised me. That sounds interesting. And okay, these were all from the lovely wife, Alexandra. She's great. I've always wanted these books, but they are really expensive. I will link them down below. It's an independent publisher, Infinity Land Press, and they are like, production is like next level, like nothing's topping these. We have Heliogabalus by Antonin, Artaud, which like the end papers, look at them. These are like 30 quid each, but I have to give it to Infinity Land Press. These are worth it, like completely. They're just beautiful. This was really short. I've read this, so I will be reviewing that soon. This one, Tears of a Komsomol Girl by Audrey, Szasz. End papers there. This, yeah, like, get pumped for this review. This was like a ride. This was Audrey Szasz. You wanna look out for Audrey Szasz. There's gonna be big things for Audrey Szasz. She's like ridiculously good. And then one of the earlier ones I picked up is Thatcher's Tomb by Stephen Barber, which I didn't realise is written as a poem. I mean, it might be a poem. I don't know. It's just about Thatcher, and I come from the Rhondda Valleys, which she crippled. So anything negative towards Thatcher, I'm up for reading. But ultimately, these were sent around the time of my birthday, so I'm counting them. But I've heard wonderful things about Charco Press, and they were really kind to send me 3 books: A Perfect Cemetery, Resistance, Loop, and Occupation, which is a proof copy, not for sale. So yeah, these arrived like a day before my birthday, so they were wrapped up. And Alex had written a little card from, like, happy birthday from Charco Press. Very cute. Yeah, Charco Press, independent publisher based in Edinburgh. I don't know much about any of these books, but what this channel is really going to do, apart from obviously the Booker Prize, Booker Boy crew, I just think we should give independent publishers more of our time. I've absolutely loved working with Parthian, who are absolutely fantastic. Infinity Land Press, I've been speaking to them, like absolutely wonderful. I had one dealing with Penguin, it wasn't great. Finally, it would be rude if I didn't mention the book hotties. Grace, Jalen, CJ, Hannah. You know them, you love them. They're linked down below if you haven't heard of them, which you probably have because they're blowing up everywhere. They sent me like a meal prepare kit. I haven't got like any video footage of it because I've been using it to making food. But it was like a celebration of Dishoom, which is like this lovely I love cooking, you can tell by my size. Yeah, just about Bombay and like the history of Bombay and all these like beautiful like dishes. Like, oh, it was so good and tasty, and I've already started. It's the only time I dog you recipe books. Chicken Ruby, delicious. It was great. If you don't want to have a chicken, just swap it with something else. A recipe isn't a law, remember. A recipe is a guide. So if you don't want the chicken, take the chicken out. You don't have chicken in the fridge that day, use some chickpeas. Come on, people. Cook smarter, not harder. Yes, they have like recommended reading. And my boy Salman Rushdie's there. So obviously this was amazing. They also sent me a new beanie because if you if you didn't know, I had a very sad story that happened with my beanie, which if you're on Instagram and you follow me, you would know this story outright. And I tried to contact the company that I bought this hat from 6 years ago or 4 years ago, being like, this is a sad story, like, please can, like, this discontinued hat, like, do you have one? Because, like, I'll buy it. And they ignored me. So you will see that beanie in future videos. Also, yeah, I got a few beanies from different people as well, so I'm beanied up to the top. This is so nice though, isn't it? Look at that. South Bombay, the most reliable map, it says. Whew. The food's ridiculously good, and this one's really easy and you don't need much, but I will, if I can find it, I'll link it down below, like the recipe. It's pav bhaji, and oh, it was so good, and it gets like so much of your five a day in. Basically, you make it like a vegetable base and then add in like mashed potatoes to it. Oh, it was so good, honestly. Oh, and it makes that was really satisfying. That was great. You can have that for free, people. So yes, these were all my books. How fun, I know. And yeah, I'm back. Hi, have you missed me?